first hole here at the Blazer Open at Fort Jackson Golf Club. Par 4 to start the day. Don't need anything more than like a 225 shot. Great contact here on this 4-iron. Just trying to have a nice free loose swing to start the day, but unfortunately I pushed it way right into the woods. And then here, really the most important part of this shot is analyzing the lie. It was sitting down pretty bad, and honestly I could have been a little more aggressive with this, but then here also I'm just trying to get something over this log without destroying my club back out into play. So really can't be upset about hitting that kind of shot from the trees, because that's where I put myself off the tee. But I only have, I think, a gap wedge here into this green. My wedges are feeling good going into this, so I know I can stick something and try to walk away with double at the very worst. Anything on the green is good. Below the hole, probably have about like 25 feet here. These greens, they've had issues with these greens in the past, and they've been better. Almost made this putt, but you can see they're kind of spotchy, and they weren't really the best this tournament. And I know that's not an excuse because we all play the same greens, but just something to adjust to. Simple par 3 here, over the water. Just hitting a smooth 8. Got through this one good. Not even worrying about where this pin location is really. It's pretty gettable, but it's back far on the left, so anything middle of the green here is good. Perfect distance. So here just trying to lock in that par and put some good speed on this putt. It's kind of up on a tier, so really the most important part is getting it there to the hole without killing it and crushing it by. So these greens were pretty fast considering they weren't in the best condition. So always love tap-in pars. Nice little bounce back, especially after that first hole. And here, something that I kind of struggle with just this tournament and before this was my fairway woods. Pretty much almost topped this one, but I just want to get a lot better with them, considering I love them. It's not like I can't hit them because the club doesn't fit me. I love my fairway woods and they're great. I just need to build that confidence and actually practice a lot more with them. So again, it's not fun pitching wedges into par 4s on your third shot trying to get up and down for par. So, and especially on this kind of hole where the green is kind of tough, and I've had issues with this green in the past. So but using that experience from past tournaments to hit these shots was really helpful today. Great contact chip, pretty dang good, considering I've had troubles with these greens in the past, and this pin location is usually pretty tough. And here, just so close to making this putt. That would have been a heck of a par, or sorry, not par, double. But just not a great start going double, par, double, 4 over through 3. And it's like I hit a great drive here. These rocky starts to rounds, I mean, usually my goal is shooting around 40 on both 9s, because then if I have a good decent 9, I can at least break 80. So it's just tough because now I really have no room for error on these next holes, and this course isn't really easy. Good layup here. Just took a 6-iron because I know it'd roll pretty far down there. But put myself in a great position. Probably the best position I've ever been on this hole. I think I had another pitching wedge here, just about 140 here. This shot I think was a club choice error and just being kind of rushed. I got through it great, but I pushed it, and just that miss obviously isn't going to go as far. So really not the best shot, considering that's where I put myself on a gettable par 5. And here just used a lob wedge. Pretty dang good shot considering being short-sighted and that pin's kind of tucked. So leaving that for my par is not bad. It's not bad at all. And I read this putt pretty dang good. Hit it a little hard. I think if I had a little less speed it would have gone in. But it just stinks to make that for bogey, especially when I played the par 5 so well. And here's something again I struggled with this tournament. My issue was I'm just kind of across the line at the top and stuck on the way down. So then I aim left to try to hit a fade to combat that, but sometimes I hit it left and it goes left, like I draw it, or I hit it straight and it draws. So this is probably the worst feeling in the world, having to punch out 90 degrees on a hole, even to a spot where that grass doesn't look so good. But again, just not leaving myself much room for error, especially after all these blow up holes. And then right there, like, that's not the best spot to be. I mean, I'm pin high, but just with these greens, you have to be so precise, and I failed to do that today. So from here on out, obviously a low number or even a decent number is kind of not in the picture, considering I think I'm like 6 over, 5 over through 5 holes. So, and then I mean, it's technically on the scorecard not considered a 3-putt, but it basically is a 3-putt. So 3 doubles to start, which is really great. But here on this par 3, last time I played this hole, I flew the green, so making sure I have the right club and judging how far downhill it is nice. Just barely got to the front of the green, but honestly, having an uphill putt and just being in a safe spot is definitely a lot better than the other positions I've been in. And then this was a really great lag putt. This is probably my best lag putt of the day, considering I had to hit it so hard, because I'm not too confident with those kinds of putts where I have to crush it up the hill, because I feel like either my line gets messed up or whatever. But it feels nice to get a par, especially after such bad holes. Par 5 here, there's out of bounds right, which I shouldn't be thinking about this in my head, but this drive was absolutely piped. Perfect, nice little draw right down the middle. But just, it feels nice after the last time you played this hole, you made such a bad number, to be in such a good spot and be able to go for it in 2. And then another confident swing, especially with the water on the left. Just being able to get through this 4-iron and make really great contact is just really great feeling, especially having a pretty straightforward chip. This lie was a little weird, kind of into the grain, sitting down, and I really could have been more aggressive, but I kind of didn't want to get too choppy down on top of it, and then catch it a little thin. I used a gap wedge, I believe, on the shot, so honestly not the best distance to be putting for birdie, but putting for birdie is just like, your scores will be so much lower the more you're putting for birdie, and it's not necessarily making more birdies, it's just making less bogeys and more pars. So back-to-back pars is feeling good, especially after some rocky holes. And then this hole is a drivable par 4, so especially after that last drive, I'm feeling confident to get something up around the green. Obviously, I know I'm not going to drive the green, but the way this hole's angled, it is pretty gettable. I think it's only like 270, 260 to like that bunker on the left, if you can see it by the green. And this break I got, I hit a really good shot on my tee shot, and I'm lucky that I wasn't plugged in the side of the bunker, but I got pretty unlucky for where I was. But note to self, just don't hit it at the bunker, which is a bummer, because having such like short distance into the hole, and this is what I'm putting for par, is just kind of a bummer. But can't be too mad about it. And then the fact that I leave this putt like 2 feet short for bogey is just, on a hole that's so scoreable, walking away with bogey here, kind of a bummer. Just trying to take driver right up. I usually take driver right up those bunkers in the fairway. Got through it really good, struck it well. Thought I was in the bunkers, but I've been in the same spot for the past 2 years, so. Here the ball was really far above my feet, and it was really like a gap wedge distance. But I hit pitching wedge because I thought, oh, I need to get through this, and I flew the green. which is very rare of me to do. But I've been doing it more lately, I've noticed, which that's just weird for me. And then I thought I hit this chip great. I thought I landed exactly where I wanted to. But then again, these greens, you can see they're just so spotchy and kind of inconsistent. But obviously everyone's playing these greens, so if someone can figure it out, then they can't be too bad. That's at least what I tell myself. But tapping in for bogey to finish this 9 with, I believe, a 45. I've had rounds where I've shot this and I've bounced back, so I'm not too worried. It's just one of those days where stuff isn't going right and you kind of just have to play, and it sucks because you're playing through the round, and especially after this kind of drive, on your bounce back 9, hitting one in the water off the tee, kind of just hooking it straight in. That's not the funnest feeling in the world. And then hitting it in the bunker from here, just this isn't me. This isn't how I should be playing. This doesn't reflect the kind of player I am. Great bunker shot here, by the way. So considering I hit it in the water off the tee, and I'm only walking away with a bogey on this hole, after what I thought would be such a bad start to this other 9 as well, a bogey isn't the end of the world. Great drive on this hole. It's pretty tight up there. I mean, you can get away with not hitting driver and be fine, because it's not really gettable anyways, because it's usually into the wind. But I've had a good history with this hole. I got there in 2. Not a great spot to be in the bunker, and I kind of just chunk shank it, whatever you want to call that. It's just so frustrating, especially after playing so bad and then having a hole where you think you can come back and get a good score, and this is what I'm chipping for par. It's just so frustrating. It's like, I mean, this is a great chip, but the fact that I'm in this position is just kind of sad. So bogeys on par 5s don't feel the best, but it is what it is. I'm only 2 over. Like I said earlier, there's rounds where I've come back and been fine. And then another short hole here. There's really, I know kids on my team hit driver here. There's kind of no point. Here's that kind of push draw shot I've been struggling with. I mean, here's the thing. This is really what I'm working on. I can play with this ball flight. I can play that draw where it kind of starts right and slings back. And I played great rounds with it. But it's just so unreliable and it just doesn't feel good. And there's days where I kind of can't control it. So I've really been trying to work on grooving in a fade into my swing, just hitting a bunch of punch shots. Because I want a ball flight that's reliable. I'm glad that this putt stayed up. Yeah, you see me run into market. Because last time I played this hole, I keep mentioning this, it went all the way down the hill. So for this to be my putt for par, honestly, this green is so tough, and to think that I would have parred it. I mean, again, 3 over through 3, that's not, you can bounce back from these kind of 9s, and that's really what I'm trying to think in my head here. This hole, it just gets so tight that there's really kind of no point at all in hitting driver, or even, again, I'm not feeling confident with my woods, so a 4-iron kind of layup shot. I mean, I actually really like when I play holes where I can hit the same club twice in a row, even if it's longer in. Because I know, for example, if I hit a good tee shot, then why can't I just hit the same one when I get up there? So, sadly landed in this bunker, but this was an amazing bunker shot, considering I'm not very confident with these. Great club choice, good distance. To be putting for birdie from there is really, this is just a confidence boosting hole. Not having, like, this is what gets you going, and this is where turning points are in your round. So if you can capitalize and benefit off those things, then your bounce back rounds are realistic. So even though I only walked away with a par, no birdies yet today, it's just a good confidence booster. Another 4-iron here. I got through it really well, but it's just sadly went at probably the worst spot to be in. Like, I don't have very far in, but the ball's pretty below my feet. Just not quite catching this very good. Like, it's not a bad swing, it didn't feel bad, but just with these bunkers you have to be so precise. And then I'm confident with these chips, with lots of green to work with, usually like a gap wedge. I feel like practicing with clubs that have more loft and you have like an uphill lie like I do have, it's just so much easier, and I feel like I'm naturally closer to the hole every time when I use those chip shots on the green. Chipping is probably my favorite thing to practice, just the creativity and the technique learning. But this par 3 is it looks good to my eye because of the ball flight I'm playing. It's a club I'm confident with, a nice little 7-iron. Got through it great. It's going right at the pin. I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna have like 5 feet for birdie. Great shot, a lot further than it actually looks, but still, just these kind of shots. And you shouldn't be thinking this in your mind, but I believe it was Raymond Floyd. He has a book where he talks about mental golf game, and there's just so many great points in there. He says that the great players know when to think about their score and know what they need to do to execute. And balancing not thinking about your score at all and just focusing, and then not putting pressure on yourself, but knowing what you need to do is just a great quality that I hope to have someday. But this hole is probably one of the toughest, considering you can't hit driver. I mean, 3-wood obviously wasn't feeling great for me. If it was, then I would have had a lot less in. 4-iron, 4-iron kind of hole. And even this 4-iron I don't even think has a chance of getting there. But I'm just trying to get something in a good spot so I can get up and down. But sadly I pushed this right, and I kind of put myself in the worst possible position. And in my brain, I'm thinking, just make contact with the ball. Just get it out somewhere. And then even here, I'm basically standing on the very edge, and I'm just trying to get something up near the hole. But this putt here, I really carefully read this. In my mind, this is a must-make putt. And even though it's only for bogey, this just feels great, because I know that I can manage a somewhat decent score after such a bad day of golf. But last par 3 here of the day. Slightly downhill, usually plays into the wind. Just trying to get something anywhere on the green. Kind of a tight pin up on the left there, so I don't really want to challenge that bunker. But really, I really carefully read this putt and tried to make sure that I got the right speed, because the speed is the most important thing. And I thought I crushed this putt, and obviously not enough speed. But this putt here is a very makeable one as well. And I just barely misread the break. And it's those kind of putts where you line it up and it looks good, and you stand over and you just feel a little uncomfortable and you slightly adjust, and the original line was right. So this one of those situations. Last hole of the day, very scoreable, fits my shot shape as well. Nice draw up the middle, perfect position, good drive to end the day off of, to only have a gap wedge in. Thought I hit this good, but just kind of didn't quite catch it. But it actually ended up being too far. I believe this is the tournament where I lost my sand wedge previously, and I had to pretty much use a gap wedge all day from all my weird shots. But not the best round. If I had this 9 and just copy and pasted it, I wouldn't have such a bad score. But these scores don't define who you are, so just gotta improve and move on.